Hello and welcome to another directed draw. Happy Friday, it's Fun Friday. I decided to do Dory today to end the week of our ocean animals. I'm contemplating whether or not I'm going to post 2 more ocean animals on Saturday and Sunday. I haven't decided yet, but today we're going to be drawing Dory. So here's what she looks like. She's so pretty. Hopefully I'll be able to draw her as good as that. Again, I'm trying to figure out how to help you guys draw her easily. But I just felt like we needed a Disney character to end the week. But actually she's a Pixar character, excuse me. But yeah, so we're gonna wait a couple more minutes for some more people to join, and then we will go ahead and get started. While we are waiting, if you have any scratch pieces of paper, grab it, because we're going to be doing some circle warm-ups for our hand. Let's see. I need to find a scratch piece of paper. So, before I like to draw some characters, I usually do some circles just to kind of warm up my hands. I haven't drawn anything this morning, so my hands are a little rusty, but we're just going to be doing some warm-up circles for the next few minutes while some more people join, and then we'll get started. I'm super excited to draw Dory with you guys, especially during quarantine, because like she always says, just keep swimming. But yeah, these aren't really perfect circles, but it's a good way to warm up your arm, and you can do overlaps. But I try to use my whole arm, because if you do your fingers or your wrist, I mean, you can still get a pretty good circle, but this way you're kind of warming up your entire arm and your hand. Dory is a lot of weird shapes, so, you know, she has a lot of curves, a lot of pointy edges, but hopefully I can explain it easy enough that you guys will be able to draw her. And if not, she'll still be cute anyways. So, I see that another person has joined. Welcome. We are currently doing some warm-up circles to warm up our arm and our hands. Oops, sorry. Don't know who that is. So we're just drawing some circles. This helps warm your hand and your arms up, and they're not perfect circles, but that's okay. And then you can also do some wavy lines just to do some warm-ups. And this is just some scratch piece of paper that I have. So kind of do some zigzags, do some lines. But yeah, circles are good. So once you feel like your arm has warmed up, you can stop. Like I said, I haven't really drawn anything this morning, so trying to warm up my hand right now. we're gonna wait one more minute and then I'll get started. So if you just joined, today we are drawing Miss Dory. Not Mrs. Dory, but Finding Nemo Dory. But hello, Mrs. Dory, if you're watching. Shout out. All right, let's get started. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some paper, you'll need a pencil, maybe an eraser, and a black marker to trace her afterwards. And then any coloring materials you guys want to use. So you can do watercolor if you have watercolor, paint if you have paint, markers, color pencils, crayons, pastels. So, but we'll just get started. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to draw like an oval shape, and I'm going to put it right here. And when we're drawing her, we're going to try to sketch her out as lightly as we can, just so it'll be easier to erase when it's time to erase, and we don't leave any marks. And yeah, so let's get started. I'm going to put her, so her head's going to come over here. So I'm going to do an oval, kind of lightly. I'm going to do it a little bit darker so that you guys can see it, but you guys should be doing your drawing lighter than what you are seeing on my paper. But because pencil lines are hard to see sometimes, I'm just going to darken this up a little bit. Okay. So we have our oval. I know this looks nothing like Dory, but we're going to get there. So now the next part is the oval has two highest points. So you have one at the top and you have one at the bottom. So I'm going to start here at the top, and we're going to do kind of like a elongated 7 shape, or a like an L or like a V. So if I have my oval here, we're going to go out and then down. So it's going to be kind of pointy right now, but we're going to fix that later. So that's the shape that we're going to do. So I'm going to start up here, and we're going to go up and then down. So again, you're doing this very lightly with your pencil. I'm doing it a little bit darker with mine so you can see it. So we have the first little bump up here. The next bump we're going to put down here. So we're going to start here, and you're going to go down like that. And the point is going to be a little bit behind the top one. So if you come down, it is behind it. So you're going to go this way. Sorry, there's a motorcycle. And go up like this. Okay. I'm going to bring this side down, and we're going to make a little point. So it's almost like a diamond shape. Oops. And it's okay if your lines are everywhere, we're just sketching it out. And we're going to change the shape as we draw it. Oh, I forgot to set my timer. Hold on. Don't want to go over time. So alright, so I got my timer going. Okay. So now we're going to do her tail, the back tail. I'm going to start about here. So I'm going a little bit in from the point, and we're going to do a curved shape out. So we've been doing this curve a long time. So it's just that swoopy motion. And I'm going to start right here. And if you want to practice that on your scratch paper like I did, you can totally do that before we draw it out. And we're going to go out like that. And then we're going to come about the same place on the bottom and do the same thing, except we're going to do the opposite. So it's like an upside down U curve going the opposite direction. So we're going to go down like that. And this top one is actually going to be longer than the bottom, so I'm going to extend that out a little more. I know this is a little close to the edge, but that's okay. So this is a lot further up than this one. Okay. I'm going to darken this one a little bit because I think it's a little hard to see. So once you're there, we're going to close her fin with a squiggly line. So I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to slowly squiggle, squiggle, squiggle down and close it. All right, so it's kind of starting to look like a fish. The next part is Dory she's blue, black, and yellow. Now the outside part of her fin on both sides, or her tail, I'm sorry, are both black. And the inside right here, like a triangle, is yellow. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to start here. We're going to go in a little bit because we're going to need to make a border. So I'm going to start at the end, or edge, can't talk this morning, and slowly follow this outside curve line like this. Okay, so now we kind of have a border between here and here. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, except before we go there, we did follow the curve, but over here we're going to kind of flatten it out about that much. And then we're going to do a V shape. So you're going to change this to like a V, and then it's going to kind of slightly curve and go back out. So we have another one over here. So actually, I'm going to change this a little bit, because technically it shouldn't be curved. So I'm going to kind of curve in a little more right here. So we have this straight line almost right here, and then we'll do like a straight line out and curve. So ideally you should have like a V shape. I'm going to kind of adjust this side a little bit. So that's what you have. And there is her tail. Now, since we're already here, I'm going to draw some lines. So starting from this point, we're going to do straight lines out. Like that. Okay. And that adds some detail. All right, the next part we're going to do is her fin on this side. So we have our line right here. We're going to try to find kind of like the middle. So this is about the midpoint of this line. We're going to go in about this much, and we're going to do some more curved lines. I did the wrong way. You're going to go like that and like that. So that's where her fin attaches to her body. And then from the top one, we're going to kind of follow that curve and go straight out like that. Now the bottom one, I know I made this a little bit curved on this side, but we're just going to do like a U curve. So again, we're doing this one where we're kind of going up like that. And we're going to go down and up like that. Okay. So I'm actually going to make this a little bit lower. what we're going to do is, I made this line a little too long, but that's okay. We're going to come right here, close to the body, and we're going to do a diagonal line and connect it to this point. Like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase this so we don't confuse it. I'm actually going to leave that because that can be part of her inside fin. Okay. Now I'm going to adjust this slightly. I'm going to bring it down like that so it's more at an angle. Okay, so we have something that looks like that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and add some more lines in her fin. And then she has a little bit of yellow, and it's going to be the letter C. So you're just going to draw from here to here, and it's going to be the letter C, like that. Okay. And then I'm going to do a second C, so we can make a little border, like that. All right, so now the next part is we're going to do her back fin because we're already here. And to do that, we're going to do a short line out like this, and then we're going to curve kind of in, like that. And the back bottom fin is a little bit shorter, so, and then go ahead and do some diagonal lines. And then I'm going to go up here, and we're actually going to kind of flatten this point a little bit. So we're just going to curve it, make her a little bit smoother on top, so it's not at a harsh angle. And then we're going to put her top fin starting here and go down. So I'm going to do a slight curve like that. And then we're going to follow this and come down, but we're going to give her like a slight curve on her back fin. So I'm going to smooth this out a little bit, and we're following her body, this line, all the way down like this, and then we're going to curve the end up like that. So curve on top, straight, and then curve back down on the bottom. So it's kind of like an S shape, except it's not curved in like that. And then you're just going to connect it with a straight line, and this side comes to a point. And just like this bottom fin, you're going to add some lines on the inside. I like to do curved and straight lines. And you can do a lot and a few. So it goes like that. All right, now it's time for the semi-hard part. We're going to do her mouth and like that nose kind of part, this bump. So we're going to do this shape right here. So I'm going to start about here. So this is where it kind of curves a little bit, where the oval curves. And you're going to do kind of like a straight line out this way. Let me see if that's dark enough for you guys to see. Okay, I'm going to do it a little darker because you can't see that. So I'm doing like a straight line out like this. And then it's going to curve in a little bit on the bottom. Not a lot, just slightly. And then I'm going to go back up with a curve. So I'm actually going to flatten this curve out a little more because it's too curvy. And then we're going to do a curved line up. And you want to leave a little bit of space from the inside of the oval and the corner of her mouth. So I'm going to go back up here and kind of curve this one a little more. So it looks like a V. It's basically, it's a V shape, except it's not pointy and it's not straight. You're curving this side and you're curving this side. So this is being pulled that way. So it looks like you're pulling on it and it's curving a little bit, if that makes sense. So it's a curve like this and curve in, and you can add the corner of her mouth. And it's still a little pointy right here for me, so I'm going to kind of round that out. So you're going to make it a little smoother, just like how we did on top. Okay. And when she's smiling, you can kind of see a little bit of her teeth on top. So from this corner, you're going to come in a little bit, and we're going to draw a straight line, and then it's going to curve in like this. So it looks like the letter L, except the back part is curved. So we're going to round this out a little bit to make it a little smoother and go up like that. All right. So the bottom is kind of the same shape as this. So we're going to do another V shape down here. So I'm going to start kind of right in the middle of her tooth line. Find the middle. And you're going to go out just as much as the top is going. So you don't want to go out further than that. And then we're going to come around. So there's my soft V shape. And then we're going to connect the end to here, to her corner. Okay, so let me make this darker so you guys can see it a little better. I'm going to make this a little darker because it looks like it's not showing up very well. And you're going to go like that. All right. I see we have another person who has joined us. Hello and welcome. As you can see, we're drawing Dory. I will be posting this right after onto YouTube, so you'll have a chance to start from the beginning. But this is where we are right now. So now we're going to connect the bottom mouth to the base of her body right here. And we're going to do a curved line to connect. So you're going to start here, and we're going to slowly curve, and I'm not doing a very big curve to go out. You're kind of tapering it in, so it's thicker here. This space right here is thicker, and it gets thinner as we go down. So you're using this line as a guide to follow, but make sure you're slowly tapering it off. And we want to round this corner out. And it's okay if your lines are a little messy. And again, I hope you guys are doing this lightly. I'm doing it darker so you guys can actually see it on my paper. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be able to see a lot of it. So that just helps with erasing it afterwards. All right, now we're going to do her eyes. So this is where our practice circles come in. And her eye is going to be directly above her corner of her mouth. It's going to be a little bit in though. So, and you got to make her eyes big. So try to draw a circle. It's okay, again, if it's sketchy. So there's her first eye. We're going to draw her eyeball right here. So because she's looking at us, it's going to be closer to this side. And then I'm going to add another circle right in the middle. This is what we're going to color in black. This is her pupil. And then I'm going to do a little circle on the top corner right here to give her a little shine in her eye. Maybe not so big though. Make it smaller. Okay, so there's one eye. The other eye is going to cut through right in the middle of this line, and then we'll be able to fix it after. So, and this side is going to be slightly smaller because of perspective. So if you turn your head to the side, the one that's further away from the front is going to look smaller. So this circle is going to be slightly smaller than this one. Not too small, but just a little bit. Okay, so like that. And again, her eyeball is going to be closer to this side, to her pupil and the little twinkly part in her eye. So she's slowly starting to look like Dory, very slowly. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna give her her eyebrow bumps. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna start right here on the outside corner of her eye. So from this line, go out a little bit, and we're gonna go up like that, and then it's like an upside down U. So you're gonna go like this, and there's her first one, and then you're gonna come over, leave a little space, and do this side. And this side's gonna come up and down. And if you notice, there's more space on this side than this side. This side is going to be closer to her eyeball. Kind of straighten it out a little bit. I think I'm going to make her top part a little bit more pointier. Like that. Okay. All right. So once you do that, we're going to come here and we're going to curve it up here like this and connect it. All right, and I see that some of you guys have already finished. So if you want to color her, she's going to have the yellow on her tail, her fins. The rest of her here is black, and so is the inside of her mouth. She's got purple eyes, and then she has some freckles that are blue, dark blue. So if you want to color her like that, you can. So I'm going to keep going. And then right here, you're going to kind of curve it in like this. So I know it's hard to see here, but if you have her eye like this, oops, let me do it a little better. Whoops. So if you have her eye, this is the outside eye. So right now, this is what we have drawn, right? But right here, it's not curved. So you're going to curve and attach it to the side of her head. So it's kind of like this bumpy thing like that. So, okay. So we're just going to connect that. Okay. I think it's getting a little dark. Okay. I'm going to turn on the light for a second. Today's a lot more overcast than I thought it would be. Alright. So I'm just going to put this one right here so you guys can see it. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of fix this. And, okay, so we don't have a lot of time left. Let's see. Okay. So now we have this part right here. And I'm actually going to bring this down slightly in front. Oh. Now she has a little line right here under her eyeball. So I'm going to go ahead and do a curved line right there. And then from the front of her right eyeball, we're going to go back up to her brow ridge, and we're going to connect a line from here to here. So I'm going to do a curved line so it kind of looks like a triangle or a V shape. So this is going to be kind of curved, kind of straight, like this. And then I'm going to come back, I'm going to follow that brow ridge and come back around. And we're going to come here, we're going to leave some space, but we're going to do like an upside down U shape right here. That's kind of wide. Like that. And then we're going to curve back around. Actually, I'm going to make this a little bit wider. And then right here, it's going to be a V kind of shape, so a soft V. And connect. And I'm going to add a little bit more fin on top. Okay, and then she has kind of like this shape right here that's also blue. So you're going to do a U shape. and it's rounded on the front and then pointy in the back. So you're going to do like an S shape, sideways S, and connect. So it's pointy on the back, rounded on the front. So kind of like a teardrop shape almost. All right. So now that we have that, I think that's it for that part. Now we're going to come here and we're going to give her the top eyelid. So it's going to be a slight curve right above her eye, like this. And you're going to do that for both. Then while you're here for the left eye, you're going to come down and it's going to kind of be straight, but kind of curved. And it's going to curve around to the front like this. So it's straight and then it curves and goes out and meets the outside edge of her face. And then I'm going to kind of darken this eyeball and we're going to curve it so it meets this corner right here that we just made. So it's like that. It'll look better once it's traced, so. Okay, and then the last thing we have to do, or second to last thing, is her other fin. So from this eyeball, you're going to come down a little bit. And we're going to draw a curved line out. And it's going to be like that. And then from here, we're going to do a curved line in. So we're going to make a point up here. Curved line down, like that. And we're going to go in, curve it in, like that. And then there's a slight U curve or a backward C curve right here. And draw her, the lines of her fin. And I was going to do her freckles, but I'll do that at the end. So now we're ready to trace. So I'm going to start with this eyeball. So now this eyeball should be not a complete circle because we did just add this line here. So I'm actually going to go up like that. And we're going to trace. Okay, so we have our mouth. We go back up here and do the bridge of her eye. I'm going to slowly trace. going to trace her fin. Then do this fin. And don't worry if your pencil lines don't match your marker lines for the fin. That's okay. We're going to erase it anyway. To the inside. And her fin. I'm going to go ahead and color in the parts that are black with my marker as I'm drawing. Okay. And this outside part of her fin is black. And then the other thing that I want to do is I want to outline the top of her eyeball to show her that she has eyelashes. We're not going to draw eyelashes, but what the animators do is they kind of make the top part of the eyeball a little bit thicker. And that kind of gives the impression that she has thick eyelashes. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and color this in. She's got a lot of black, so let's see how much time I have. Okay, so we gotta go through this a little bit faster. take your time when you're coloring, especially for coloring with markers or color pencils, because there's no way to erase it if you make a mistake. So just go nice and slow when you're coloring in the black. I'm going a little bit faster because we don't have a lot of time left. Okay, and then we gotta color the inside of her mouth. And then once you're done with the black, go ahead and get your blue ready to color in her body. I'm going to be using some color pencils. And go ahead and color in her body. Oh, before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and erase all my pencil marks. Just be careful because if your pen is still wet, it's gonna smudge. So just be careful. So it's smudged a little there, but that's okay. So to color it in, you're going to need a blue, a yellow, and a purple, and possibly a dark blue. And I'm trying to do this as fast as I can because we only got about 10 minutes left. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to color in her dark because I don't have time to do that. So again, when I'm coloring, I like to use the side of my pencil so it gets more area. try to go in one direction. If you want her yellow fins to stick out a lot and kind of pop from your drawing, you can always use highlighter, yellow highlighter, and that will really kind of make a difference with Miss Dory. So I'm going to try and quickly color this, and then I'm going to get her eye color. It's like a dark purple. And when you're coloring an eyeball, make sure you don't color in that small circle at the corner. That stays white. I'm going to get my yellow highlighter tail. So it just kind of pops. Oh, I forgot to do this fin. And the last and final thing is her beautiful freckles. So just make little dots. Goes all the way out to her eyeball. And it comes down to about there on her nose area. Okay. And there you have it. Just drew Dory from Finding Nemo. So I hope you guys enjoyed this directed draw. I know it's a little different. It's a little bit more complex, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a fabulous Friday, even though it's kind of gloomy. But as always, stay safe, make sure you wash your hands, stay happy, and I will see you next time.